I can't get enough of you. I try to leave. But I just wanna hang out. I wanna show you my racist card game. I showed you the brown deck before. All right, to begin with, let me say this. Fascism is faggotry. Okay? Literally, the words are cognate. They come from the same root. If you are a fascist, you are a faggot. Do you understand? Now let's flip that. If you are a faggot, you are a fascist. How you like that? That's funny, ain't it? It's true. So we have the Zionist-occupied government deck. Ooh, this is an appropriate hat, isn't it? We have the ZOG deck, and we have the Commie deck. This is the game, Race War, this time the Galaxy. If you want to learn about the game and how to play, go ahead and pause it right now and take a look. So, I'm just going to show you the cards and read them to you. Fiat currency. This is mana. Fiat currency. Fiat currency. Dead babies. Ooh, there's a bit of a glare. Fiat currency. Where's that glare coming from? Ooh, that's even worse. Okay, hold on. All right, we all gonna have to bear with the glare. Bear with the glare. Oh, the glare is coming from from the card. Okay. All right, so I'll just start taking them out of the sleeves. Fiat currency. I got these special sleeves for the ZOG deck. Because what are you going to do about it, huh? What you going to do about it? Huh, tough guy? Huh, white man? You're a tough white man. What you going to do about it? You're going to deal with it. All right. Okay. So, let's draw a card. Ooh, that's a good one. World Trade Center. Hey, cut it out. Cat tearing up my wall. This is a spell card. Put 2 of your opponent's mana on cooldown. Draw 2 mana. If you would exceed 5 mana by doing this, you may still use the extra mana and discard it at the end of your turn. Dude, this deck is so strong. It's all about disabling your opponent and making it where they can't use their mana and they can't use their cards, and it just totally arrests your opponent while giving you excess. So, really good card. ZOG deck, probably the strongest one. It depends on how you play it. I don't know, because the white deck is really strong. This is Jew Lawyer. Once per turn, you may put an enemy combat card on cooldown for 1 turn. Hey! Kittens. There's always something with me, right? Always something gotta be making noise and interrupting my videos. This card cannot attack the turn this effect is activated. Can you see him? What does he say? He says, indecipherable Judaic legal jargon. I'm not going to take him out of the sleeve every time. Low. One of these days, I'll upload, I'll scan all these to the online tabletop simulator or whatever. Intergalactic Click. That's a spell card. This card costs no mana. Perform any action for free. It says, it is a small, rootless, intergalactic clique that is turning the people against each other. That does not want them to have peace. They are the only ones who can be addressed as intergalactic elements because they conduct their business everywhere. This is a quote from Space Hitler. Oh, this is a very strong card. This is Count Kalergi. You see? Okay. Count Kalergi. Look how strong he is. That's just ridiculous. The effect is called Despoil the Blood. While alive, block 2 of your opponent's mana slots. If there is already mana in those slots, destroy them. Hello, welcome live viewer. We're talking about racist card games. This is Race War, this time the Galaxy. We're going over the Zionist-occupied government deck. I disavow these cards. But I used to be a Nazi until I was saved by Jesus Christ. That's why I have them. Let's see, and it looks like it's accompanied by a quote from Count Kalergi. The man of the future will be of mixed race. The races and classes of today will gradually disappear due to the elimination of space, time, and prejudice. The Eurasian Negroid race of the future, similar in appearance to the ancient Egyptians, will replace the diversity of peoples and the diversity of individuals. Instead of destroying European Judaism, Europe, against her will, redefined and educated this people, driving them to their future status as a leading nation through this artificial evolutionary progress. And that is Richard Koudhav Kalergi. Man, strong. Let me read the effect again. While alive, block 2 of your opponent's mana slots. If there is already mana in those slots, destroy them. No-go zone. Block 1 of your opponent's mana slots for the rest of the game. It says, Lawman Nigel surveys the rape district. Nothing wrong here. A woman is dragged into a falafel stand. God save the queen. I'm off to hunt for far right-wing hooligans. It says right-wing hooligans. All right. Ooh, that's a good one. This is time-traveling debt collector. You may use one of your opponent's mana as your own this turn. Put this card on cooldown for 2 turns. You may not activate this effect while on cooldown. Pay debts, Goy. The average American is born owing over 70 grand to the national debt, and I'm here to collect. Pornography. Hey, you know what I just learned last night? Is that porn is a Greek word that means whore. So if you're like a porn guy, you're a John. So pornography, it's a spell card. Choose one of your opponent's combat cards on the field. Its attack and defense stats are now half until it dies. This deck is so strong. You know something is detrimental to your health, says the card, when a Jew gives it to you for free. While you aggressively rub your flaccid cock, Shlomo aggressively rubs his hands. Ruby Ridge Sniper. Effect. Did a double kill. Discard 2 mana to attack with this card. Any card this card attacks dies. Pro Gamer XX Elite underscore Ninja underscore Sniper XX, aka Long Shot Horiuchi was so good he once. Shut up! That's what this is for. Yeah, how you like that? He's so good, he once trolled a player's entire family by shooting a woman through a baby. Epic! I need to read that again. That's terrible. Pro Gamer XX Elite Ninja Sniper XX, aka Longshot Horiuchi, was so good, he once trolled a player's entire family by shooting a woman through a baby. Epic! It's terrible. It's probably true. That's probably a true thing. All right, this is Captain Wymerica. It's no effect. 200 attack and defense. 2, what do you call that? Initiative. So if a card, you see this lightning bolt, whatever numbers by the lightning bolt, that's how many times it can attack in one turn. In 1945, Captain Wymerica was frozen in cum, only to be unthawed should the Nazis return and threaten the American way of life. The American way of life has changed a lot, but Captain Wymerica has learned to adapt. That's very special. Bad actor. Effect, infiltration. You may use one of your opponent's mana as your own this turn. Put this card on cooldown for 2 turns. You may not activate this effect while on cooldown. And then the card says, bro, it'd be so Chad if you fucked that guy's wife. Let's smoke redacted and redacted a synagogue. I already brought the redacted. Well, I was talking with Shujin earlier about feds, and he said that he's suspicious that I'm a fed. And I explained to him what federal agents do is they try to get you to incriminate yourself. And that's a perfect example. Bro, it'd be so Chad if you fucked that guy's wife. Let's smoke redacted and redacted a synagogue. I already brought the redacted. Yeah. 6 Gorillion. It's a spell. Steal 2 of your opponent's mana and keep them. If you would exceed 5 mana by doing this, you may still use the extra mana and discard it at the end of your turn. And then it says these words. The Holocaust was a genocide so real, it's illegal to say otherwise in 17 countries. The 6 million are used to censor and punish anyone who dares speak critically of Jewish power. If you want to know who rules you, learn who you are not allowed to criticize. Now, I got to speak to that real quick. Because, look, this whole game is a psyop against the person playing it. The people who believe in the things on these cards are being psyoped. You don't know what a Holocaust is. You don't know what a Jew is. I mean, how about this? These people that you call Jews, you remember they put a crown of thorns on Jesus' head? Look, that's what that is. You see it? It's a thorn multiplied by 6. If a thorn, the thorn, it's a letter. You know the rune, the thorn? The Star of Remphan is a crown of thorns. Okay? They are not. A Jew is one circumcised in the heart. That's all I got to say about that. So if you say otherwise, you're complicit in the lie. Don't be complicit in the lie. All right, Gollum. This is Gollum. Or golem, how would you say it? It's a spell card. Take control of an enemy combat card. At the end of your turn, return it. Tiny Hat Man tell Golem invade Iraq. Golem no want to hurt. Golem vote Ron Paul next time. Sweet little Golem. This is state-enforced diversity. Your opponent must show you their hand or discard 2 mana. Why did the test scores drop all of a sudden? Schrodinger's Epstein. Look, it's Schrodinger's Epstein. Spell. Take a combat card from your discard pile and shuffle it into your deck. Epstein didn't kill himself. How do we know he's even dead? That's what the card says. This is Debt Slave Overseer. Its effect is every time this card attacks an enemy combat card, put it on cooldown for 1 turn. The Goy did not reluct. Signed on the dotted line. Consumed the new product. His wages now are mine. It says that on the card. Thought Police. That's the Thought Police. 300 attack and defense. Very strong. Discard 2 mana. Force your opponent to discard a random card from their hand. We've received an anonymous tip that you own racist trading cards. RAF fighter. RAF is the Royal Air Force. The effect is called Dresden. Instead of attacking with this card, you may force your opponent to put 1 of their mana on cooldown. Up to 250,000 civilians were killed in the firebombing of Dresden, mostly women, children, and elderly. It's not a war crime if you win. Officer Midwit. I don't choose what laws they make. I just enforce them to the death. It's worth it for the pension. And his effect is called Disposable. This card may intercept an enemy combat card's attack at any time. When this card dies, revive it after 3 turns. Puppet Politician. Its effect is called Election Season. When this card dies, you may discard 2 mana to resurrect it. And the card says, he has no soul, performs on stage, and spends a lot of time with little kids. Candidates change, but the act never does. So who is pulling the strings? And now, last but not least, Elder of Zion. His effect is Offerings to Moloch. You may spend up to 2 mana per turn to kill an enemy combat card for each mana spent. This does not count as an attack. Spend 2 mana? I can't afford 1 entire mana. Help! An anti-Semite is trying to haggle me out of my last and only mana. That's funny. All right, that's the ZOG deck. It's really strong. I disavow. I disavow the... Is it anti-Semitism? Are they Semites? Hey, what does it mean when in Genesis where it says that Japhet will be enlarged and dwell in the tents of Shem. Anyway, this is, if you want to know what Fed posting looks like, it's these cards. These cards are all Fed posts. So what am I doing with them? I got wrapped up in a honeypot. When I came out of being transgender, I got mad at Jews, and I got involved in organized white nationalism, and I found myself involved with the National Justice Party, and I acquired these decks at a National Justice Party convention in Pennsylvania, which is, from what I can tell, the hot spot. It's a hotbed for this Nazi stuff. But it's all fake. They're all fake and gay. And I told you this at the beginning. A fascist is a faggot. It's not a coincidence. It's just that the words are cognate. So I'm going to show you now the communist deck, the red deck. Hey, XDP King, is that the Eric Stryker guy party? Yeah. I met Eric Stryker a couple of times, and he's a very likable guy. He's like 4 feet tall. I might be exaggerating, he might be a foot taller. Very fun-loving guy. Yeah, hey, Shujin, I'm back. Eric Stryker's always drunk, or at least he was in 2020 and 2021 when I met him. Fun guy to drink with. Yeah, I met a lot of pretty much all those guys involved in that whole thing. And I can't believe this whole time I've been on YouTube, no one's asked me about that. I found that to be very curious, that no one's curious to know what these people are like and what's going on. Because I know a little bit. Well, from XDP King, so that still is from what it looks like. Are you talking about Stryker? From what I could tell, the NJP dismantled. Let me show you something. Hold on, let me show you something real quick. Got some cool pins. Look at this one. This is from Rusty. Rusty the rocket scientist. That's the Dixie battle flag with the flag of Iran. I got a bunch of these. I just found my guitar case because they actually, Mike Pinovich bought me a plane ticket and flew me to the Second National Conference, and I opened, just playing on my acoustic guitar, a bunch of Nazi songs I wrote that y'all haven't heard that you can find. If you go on SoundCloud, I went by Caligula. Go look for Caligula on SoundCloud. Look up the song "Getting Too Close." But I disavow the Nazi stuff. You know, it's all fake and gay. It's a honeypot. You know how I found out that it's a honeypot? I found Jesus Christ, and I try to talk to these people about Jesus, and now they don't act the same. When you come talking to them with the Spirit, they change. Anyway, I'm about to show y'all the Commie deck. All right, so first I'm going to show you the mana. Means of production. Mongoloid baby. Food ration. Why do y'all watch me and you don't like my stream? Like, come on, don't you want to trigger the algorithm and share me with the world? Like a lot of you talk to me. You come in and you talk to me. That gives me Fed vibes right there. You're gonna come talk to me and act like, we cool. You don't even like my stream. Means it. Thank you. You thought I had charges against me being in the party? What do you mean? No, I wasn't in it. I was never in it. I was affiliated with it in that I went there. Why, did they get busted for something? I went there and I played music for them. That's all I did. I opened for a band called Fascine. It's a freaking Nazi skinhead band. Dude, gayest thing. So everyone's Chad, Nazi guy, and then I played my songs, which are great. Except they're wrong, but And then these dudes, a bunch of like Nazi Sid Viciouses come out. Well, I guess Sid Vicious had hair, but they were doing the whole punk thing real serious, and it was so gay. I told you, fascist and faggot are the same thing. And then they start playing their hardcore punk, and I'm like, dude, they're doing it. You're doing it for the culture, huh? Yeah, it is good for the culture, ain't it? Ain't it good? Hardcore punk for the white man and the white family. Man, that's real smart. And then these guys, they start circling and picking up pennies. You know what that is? When they start swinging their hands down and they're picking up pennies and they start moshing, and I'm like, dude, this is not what I signed up for. Oh, baby, come here. So gay. All right, that's that is the mana. Look at that, Mongoloid baby. That's a funny one. All right, baby, look, I need space. I need space. All right. Samuel Dickstein. His effect is called Soviet Spy. Y'all can identify with this guy, right? When played, look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck and rearrange them. Your opponent discards the top card from their deck. Samuel Dickstein was a Jewish congressman who played a key role in founding the House Committee of Un-American Activities and using it to persecute fascists and anti-Semites. Moscow archives show that he was being paid $1,250 a month by the NKVD. I don't know what that stands for. Oh, let's see. Forgot. DK, XDP King. You made it sound like you lost your kids over it or something. Oh, no. No, the mother of my children left me, and she took my children with state force. Really, she didn't take them with state force. She just took them while I was at work. And then, anyway. So you're upset at them just because they're anti-Christian? No, I'm not upset at anybody. NJP? No, I just renounced Nazism and fascism. Nazism is a psychological operation being carried out by Zionists. It's part of the global PSYOP, yeah. Part of the global PSYOP. It's all fake. It's all fake. Transinsurgent. Effect. Botched operation. When this card dies, deal 300 damage to an enemy combat card. If this card is sacrificed to trigger a card effect, deal 500. The Trans-Insurgent perpetuates a ceaseless campaign of terror in the name of sexual liberation. Intelligence reports suggest that 45% of trans-insurgents end their careers through suicide bombing attacks. I disavow this stuff as much as I want. Like, these cards are funny, and a lot of them are true. Chaz Warlord. We have a new card game, just got back. Hey, yeah, it's not a new one. But, yeah. Race War, this time the Galaxy. Best card game. It's better than Yu-Gi-Oh! Better than Pokemon. I never played the other ones. But it's so good, dude. It's so good. I disavow it. It's so good. Chaz Warlord. The effect is African American tax. It looks like the word African American was stamped over a different word. This is Chaz Warlord. Once per turn, you may sacrifice a friendly combat card to force your opponent to discard the top 2 cards of their deck. Finally, true equality, says the Bugman moments before death. All right, here's a spell card. It's called Holodomor. So something cool about this game is that it comes packaged with history, and it like teaches you about real history, but it frames things through a Nazi lens, which is inherently flawed. The big problem is that they blamed the Jew, but if you know the New Testament, you know that those who say they are Jews are not, that a Jew is one who's circumcised in the heart, and that those who say they are Jews are the synagogue of Satan. So to call them Jews and to blame the Jews are to be complicit in the lie. So here's the text at the bottom. This was the first instance of a peacetime genocide in history. It took the extraordinary form of an artificial famine deliberately created by the ruling powers. This savage combination of words for the designation of a crime, an artificial, deliberately planned famine, is still incredible to many people throughout the world, but indicates the uniqueness of the tragedy of 1933, which is unparalleled for a time of peace and the number of victims it claimed. And that is Wasil Hirschko, a Holodomor survivor. All right, this is Commissioner Rothstein. Effect, inspire cattle. Once per turn, you may sacrifice a friendly combat card to give all other friendly cards plus 200 attack and plus 1 stamina this turn. Oh, why do they persecute me so? When I say seemingly random things after I read the effect, it's because that's the text at the bottom. So this is a spell card called Equality. Until your next turn, all cards' defense are 0. The worst form of inequality is to try to make unequal things equal. Aristotle. Media support. There's another spell card. I don't know if y'all can see the cards well. I don't know if it's focusing. Reshuffle 3 cards from your discard pile back into your deck. Oh, wait, the text on the screen. Breaking. Anti-bad guy squad fights self-esteem boys in Portland. Orange man to blame. Anti-bad guy squad fights self-esteem boys in Portland. That's funny. If they are really fighting the power, why do all the corporations, banks, media, and social media companies support them? That's a good question. Racist card game. Very good question. All right, this is Black Block Foot Soldier. And yes, y'all. It's just a matter of time before we get this game on Tabletop Simulator. Effect, Useful Idiot. You may sacrifice this card to force your opponent to discard one card from their hand. If this card is sacrificed to trigger another card effect, your opponent must discard 2. Grug M equal. You know what, it just occurred to me. No one else is talking about this game. So I get what am I making myself a target by talking about this game? Probably making myself a target. Jesus made himself a target. Marxist professor. Let's see, special case for the Commie deck also. If this card, okay, the effect is called Indoctrination. If this card survives until the end of your second turn after it is played, take control of an enemy combat card until it dies and treat it as red. The Marxist professor spits truth and never allows personal bias or opinions to interfere with his lectures. This is trans child stripper. Effect. If the child consents. While alive, lower the mana cost of all friendly combat cards by 1. If a child can choose to have its penis removed, it can choose to do anything, smiley winky face. This is Untermensch Foot Soldier. Effect, Subhuman Resource. If this card is sacrificed to trigger a card effect, return it to your hand instead of the discard pile. Ha ha, funny monkey, ha ha. All right. Some of y'all identify with this guy. This is Irish Republican. Effect, Car Bomb. When this card dies, your opponent discards the top card from their deck. Come out, ye black cards and tans cards. Come out and fight me in race war, this time the galaxy like a man. Do y'all know that song? Come out, ye black and tans. Come out and fight me like a man. It's funny. Tell your wives how you won medals down in Flanders. It's a good song. Commie Zombies. Hey, Rafi. I'm so happy to see you. Or to see your name and your hi, Julian. I almost reached out to you the other day. Thank you, Shujin. Yeah. Y'all, you know, I never ever said the words like and subscribe. And now I see y'all, the same people always here. You never like my anything. Don't like it. Cause you want to keep me a secret, don't you? Okay, I'm not gonna spurg out. Hey Rafi, it's good to see you. So this is Commie Zombies. Effect, Undying Fanaticism. 3 turns after this card dies, you may revive it. Stinking, shrieking, brainless hordes. And then they became zombies. At least they gave up that veganism crap. Yes, ma'am, I will. I'm back on Telegram, Rafi. That was just 2 days ago. Say, bruh, you from Pennsylvania, ain't you? I looked up that word, John. That's a PA thing, ain't it? Reanimated Trotsky. Effect, eternal revolution. Whenever a card whenever a card is sacrificed to trigger a card effect, add one card from your discard pile to your hand. Lev Davidovich Bronstein, aka Leon Trotsky, developed the theory of permanent revolution. According to Bronstein's theory, the future revolution must be led by the proletariat, who would not only carry through the tasks of the bourgeois democratic revolution, but would also commence a struggle to surpass the bourgeois democratic revolution itself. It's a very strong card. 600 defense, 200 attack, 600 defense. Did I show it to you? I think I showed it to you. Much glare. Mass Executioner. This is Mass Executioner. Jay Tatanka says 600 or 6 million. It's 6 gorillion. Thank you very much. Bro, I see you in Hello Listener chat. How is it possible? You don't. I'm not in Hello Listeners chat. Unless... Hold on. Now I need to go see what you're talking about. I have 2 phones. I'm not in... I wasn't on. I was in there earlier. I stopped by for a little bit earlier. This is my friend, Mr. Hello Listener. He's got a really fun podcast. Y'all should check him out. He's a music producer, and I love him. Dig it. All right, Mass Executioner. Sacrifice a friendly combat card instead of spending mana to attack with this card. Any card this card attacks dies. The Mass Executioner never stops pushing himself. One more rep, he tells himself. When he isn't deadlifting in the basement at his job, he's deadlifting in the basement at his home gym. All right. Untermensch Machine Gun Unit. Effect. Subhuman Resource. If this card is sacrificed to trigger a card effect, return it to your hand instead of the discard pile. What? 2 funny monkeys? All right, this is Hard as Steel. Hard as Steel. Spell. Make one friendly combat card unkillable until your next turn. Joseph Stalin was known as Joseb Vissarionis Dzhugshvlini. Dude, what? All right, I know somebody. Yeah, the Georgian. Can y'all see that? Yo. It won't focus. Okay, look, I'm going to spell it for you so that y'all could look this name up if you want to. Because I didn't know about this name. Ioseb Besarionis Dze Jughashvili. That is what Joseph Stalin was known as until he adopted the pseudonym in 1912. Why? Because it sounds cool as fuck. This is strong. This is a really strong card. This is Maratov Mao. Maratov Mao. Effect. It's kanji. I can't read it. While alive, you may sacrifice one of your opponent's cards to trigger a card effect once per turn. Okay, let me say that again. While alive, you may sacrifice one of your opponent's cards to trigger a card effect once per turn. That's strong. 600 defense, too. 200 attack. That ain't... Watch out for Molotov Mao. Midwit Mongoloid. Here's Midwit Mongoloid. His effect is Undesirable Element. When your opponent attacks a friendly card, force them to attack this card instead. After this card dies, you may revive it after 3 turns. And then it says a bunch of stuff in Russian that I can't read. Last one. Black Bloc Raider Chief. Effect is Diversity of Tactics. When this card dies, revive one friendly combat card with 200 or less attack. And it say down at the bottom, minimum wage employee by day, red terror by night. The Black Bloc Raider Chief is serious about destroying corporate tyranny, torching every mom and pop business in his path. If only the proletariat could understand. And that's all of them. There's one deck left, which I'll show you another time. Today we looked at the Zionist-occupied government deck and the communist deck. This is Race War, this time the Galaxy. Bought at, I think they were $30 each at the Second National Justice Party Convention in Pennsylvania in 2021. I had a nice card case for him, but I gave it to my boy. And that's it, y'all. I'm about to have to start getting ready for karaoke. I love karaoke. Hey, look, if you have naughty animals, get you one of these. It works wonders. What time we got? 6:35. What y'all up to? What y'all got going on? What you saying that's you? Trying to make a Class A amp. Wow, you're like one of these smart guys, huh? What kind of, you say Class A, what does that mean? You fixing your neighbor's bike? Well, that's sweet. Picking up dinner. Ooh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna start working on dinner while I talk to y'all. I'll make me some, just some noodles. Just some noodles. I got chicken by the can. Look. I love my chicken by the can. With the garden rotini. A little butter, salt, and pepper. Let's see. It's nice of you to fix your neighbor's bike, man. If everybody takes care of their neighbor, we'll be all right. Yeah, dude, Shujin, canned chicken. It's really good. It's really good. Delicious. But, like, what do you mean that you're making an amp? How do you do that? Dude, Jay, you're so funny, dude. The way you talk is so funny. There's like, it's kind of reminiscent of the way people in my hometown talk. I'm from Gretna, but you got like this PA swagger about you. Am I getting that right? You haven't affirmed whether or not I got that right. I just looked up John, and it's telling me that's PA slang. Yeah, direct drive. I don't even know what that means, Shujin. I got a D2012 transistor, 2 resistor, and a capacitor. Bought the resistor in bulk, found in the trash. Well, you don't play instruments, so why are you working? Why are you building an amp? I need to learn how to do this because my dad has a really cool crate amp. I just stepped and pissed. Boy, why aren't you telling me when you have to go outside? This is terrible. Okay. All right. What do I do? What do I do? Dude, I can't handle you doing that, man. This guy, he pees so much. I don't even see him drink that much water. Do anybody have puppy advice? I just got this puppy. I had him 3 weeks. St. Felix. You see me cleaning up after you, gotta go wash my foot. Give me puppy advice if anybody got puppy advice. But my dad has this cool wooden crate amp. It's like 40 years old. It's an old tube amp. It don't work, but I want to fix it. It's too cool not to fix it. Give him a treat. He didn't earn no treat. He earned an ass whooping. He's lucky he's a puppy. Oh, dude, wouldn't it be nice to make a portable speaker with him? You said that would be cool. I actually have one. Come to think of it, I bought it for my brother. Like, oh, he did it again. He did it next to the pee-pee pad. He did it next to the pee-pee pad. What do I do with you, dude? Ven aquí. At least he comes when I call. Y'all know what Benaki means? Like earlier this week, he would go to the door and he would whine. And that's how I knew he needed to pee. But he's just been pissing everywhere for just the past few days. All right, after he pees outside, take him out every half hour. If he pees, treat. If nothing, nothing. That sounds like good advice, my friend. Thank you. I will start doing that. A multimeter. Oh, I bought Jared an amp that clips onto your belt. And it's really cool. I should use it. Okay, I need to figure out how to pick up all this urine while I'm live streaming. Come on. Okay. Where there is a will, there is a way. Okay. One at a time. That's how, right? One at a time. Like y'all literally watching me live stream cleaning up urine. That's how you spending your evening? Dude, good thing I got a lot of paper towels. But Jay, that makes a lot of sense. Every half hour. But look, when I put him in a crate, he don't pee. He don't pee when he's in the crate. He wait in the crate. The worst part of it is that he's not smart enough not to go walk through it afterward and track it all through my house. don't know, I guess I'll go in a little bit, y'all. I've been streaming for a while. If y'all didn't see it, I streamed for like an hour earlier. And then the stream like got corrupted or something. And then I streamed again for like 6 minutes. And I tried to do... Y'all should go watch that one too, because at the end of it, I started doing the song Kill You by Eminem on the acoustic guitar. I was just making up the chords, but I don't know all the lyrics, so then I stopped. I should do that though. I should. Since I was like saved, I became a square, like really sharp edges, sharp edged square. I'm a square guy, like that. Yeah, is that right? And I don't know. I feel like God is telling me I need to lighten up. That it's okay for me to lighten up. I can lighten up. And I kind of, where I'm getting that from is that I've started hanging out with people. And I can't just be an alien. I can't just be an alien. I can't just be a square. I'm not saying that I need to be a degenerate, but I don't know. I've been more loose with like how I talk. Because being square, people don't like that. You can't build relationships with people if they think that you're uptight. And I don't know. The most important thing to me is building relationships with people, is making friends and bearing grace to people, because people are hurting. I talked to one of, I was just meeting people, and people are so miserable. People are in so much pain, and they don't know what to do. And the way that you help people isn't by coming up to them like a square and cutting them with your edges. Hey, baby. One of a friend of mine who I met through doing YouTube, I reconnected with him a few days ago. Oh, he told me some stuff I didn't like to hear. He told me he put a rope around his neck a couple of weeks ago. What do you do? What do you do? I don't know what to do. All you can do is preach the gospel, right? That's all you can do is preach the gospel. So I went to karaoke at this place in a city I don't go to, place I've never been before, and I met a bunch of people, a bunch of new people. And it's kind of like an alternative place. Like these people, not a preppy crowd, you know what I mean? And I hit it off. I hit it off with these people, and it was so good. The vibes were so good, and I started preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. I started preaching the resurrection, about how, and I just told them, every opportunity I get, I tell people that I was trans for 5 years, and then that I was a Nazi for 5 years, and then that I was saved by Jesus. It's so important that everybody know, because that blows people's mind. When people hear, whoa, you were trans for 5 years, but then when they hear, and then you were a Nazi, and then you were saved? Wait, what do you mean all of the pastors in the churches are liars and hypocrites and gatekeepers? Anyway, I told them my testimony, and they were so touched. They were so touched. And they shared, I don't know, when people get vulnerable with each other, as my boy Jay would say, that's good John. Right? Is that good, John? Is that how you say that? If only we could all become vulnerable, not proud, and just say who we are, and be unafraid to be what we are, to have gone through what we've gone through, because we all working toward love. We all just want love and peace. And some of us don't. Some of us don't. Some of us are Nazis and trans women who know nothing but pleasure and pride. But whenever people who are engulfed in their pleasure and their pride, when they hear about you and how you were like that, and now your heart has been changed, and how you don't have fear anymore, it's not more powerful than a testimony. There really isn't. That's one thing that Mormons are doing right. This is what a Mormon service looks like. After they're finished eating bread and drinking water, dude, these people, they rip up, they get a loaf of bread, like from the grocery store, and they take it out and they rip it up and put it in a basket. And they got a bunch of teeny tiny cups. Look at this. I don't have one of them, but I have some for comparison. Look, you see this little mug? They have a bunch of cups half this size in a tray, and they're filled with water. And they eat bunny bread, and they drink water out of these little cups, and that's their Eucharist. But then, like, most of the service is an open mic for anyone to go up and give their testimony about how Jesus has saved them. And that's powerful. Really, XD King. They almost got me. He said he was baptized Mormon. I used to talk with him a lot. One of the guys, asked me to join the church because I was so loving it. And he was like, "Whoa, you gotta join. Come on, let's get you baptized." And I had to be like, "Dude, simmer down. Young elder? This dude's 20 years old. He's called an elder." Last time I went there, they yelled at me, XDP King. Did you hear that story? How they yelled at me? How they screamed at me? There's positive and negatrons with everything. Pretty cool Lil John, however. That's me reading Jay Tatanka. Not gonna lie, it put me off religion for 20 years. Dude, the reason they started yelling at me was because I went to their Bible study. They don't have Bible study, but they called it that. And then we went and I sat in a room with the elders and we all faced the same direction, facing an old man who was reading to us from the latest paper out of Salt Lake City. This is what I'm getting at the yelling Mormons. And so there was two guys there other than the Mormons. It was me and this Hispanic guy. And so the guy's reading from the paper, and I'm like, "What is this paper?" And he said, "This is from the, I don't know what it's called. Tell me what it's called." I never read the Bible as a Mormon. Yeah, they don't do that. You read the Book of Mormon. But anyway, he said it's this paper from Salt Lake City. And, the written by, okay, wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. He was boasting about how they are a layperson church, that there is no priesthood. And he's like smiling, like, "Look around, have you seen any priests? Nope, we're a layperson church. You saw how during the service, it's just brothers going up and talking." And I'm like, yeah, I like that. And then I ask him about, well, where's this paper come from? First of all, where's the Bible that we're supposed to be studying? And what's this paper that you're reading to us? And he said, "Oh, this paper is written by the priesthood in Salt Lake City." And then I go like this. I don't know what I did, but I said, "You told me that there is no priesthood." And he said, "Nope, there isn't." And then I was like, "Hold up. You told me the priesthood wrote the paper." And he went, "Yep, Salt Lake City." And so I had to crystallize that he had just contradicted himself twice. And it's like, he's like, "Well, but if they're not here, this is a layperson church. Can't you see? The priesthood's in Salt Lake City." And it's like, sir, but you're going by everything that the priesthood has told you to do and what they've written. And so this is when, so look, I wasn't even criticizing them. I was just acknowledging the inconsistency. And then there was a dude behind me who, I mean, I don't even want to imitate him. He like properly started yelling. And he told me I was being he shouted to stop being so disrespectful and to be quiet, okay? And you are disrupting this. And then like I look around and all of the young men, they're looking at me with their brows furrowed. And I'm like, who does this guy think he is to say that there is a priesthood when there isn't, even though there isn't, although there is? Like, dude, they were like a malfunctioning machine. It was crazy. So, like, this one guy yells at me. A bunch of them yelled at me, but the one guy behind me was loud. And so I turned around, and I says to him, brother, have peace. And then he just fell back, and he had peace. He changed like that. And then I turned back and I asked the older gentleman to continue, because apparently I had totally stopped everyone's world. So he continued, and then he said something that I liked. He says something about the Spirit and the power of the Spirit. And I said, hallelujah. I said, hallelujah, brother. And I waited for the opportunity to speak, and then I reinforced what he said about the Spirit of God, the transformative power of the Holy Spirit to take a dead man and make him a new creation. And then the guy behind me who was yelling at me, he starts going, yes, yes. And he starts shouting again. It was crazy. He starts shouting hallelujah and just saying that I was so right. And oh, wow, I have it. And I felt like I was on like punked. I was being punked. and so my sons and I went home, and then my wife had gotten a text from the sisters she had been talking to. She had been meeting with these two young women for a few weeks. They had come into our home 3 times, I think. I never got to talk to them. I was always at work. But after I had that experience inside of the church, the sisters texted my wife and said, hey, we really don't want to meet with you anymore because we just don't have anything in common. So thanks, sorry, bye. That's my experience with the Mormons. Insane. Do y'all know who Provo is? At Provo Fresh. Provofresh. Do y'all know who that is? That's this Mormon guy on YouTube that I learned about through Hello Listener. He does a podcast, kind of like me. You see, I hold the phone and I walk around my house. His camera is stationary, and he holds a microphone. And he just go like that. And he just walk back and forth like that. And like a week ago, I caught him live. And he was talking about how much he wants us to go to war, and we got to send, he wants war and death, and it would be good for us, and we deserve it. Crazy. And then the people in the comments were like, hold up, ain't you all about Jesus and stuff? And he was like, fuck that. War and death. It was scary. Mormons are scary. Yeah, XD Peking, don't ask questions in the cult. Everybody, I think a lot of us have Mormon experiences. They're fun. They're fun. Utah riding dirty with the Mormons. They be all up in that military creed too, allegedly. Ain't that right, Jay Tatanka? Yeah, always thought that was it. So XDP King said he never read the Bible as a Mormon. That makes me think of the Orthodox people, because the Mormons, they focus on reading the Book of Mormon. Orthodox people focus on reading the lives of the saints. Like whenever I started reading the Bible, it coincided with this guy, a friend of mine, a Nazi friend of mine. He had just come into the faith and he was getting into Orthodox Christianity. And we had talked about Jesus a few times over the course of 6 months. And not at any point, in 6 months, I was almost finished reading the New Testament. He hadn't started yet. He was like, he was like riddled with doubt and indecision, which seems to be a trend with Orthodox people. I love these people, by the way, and I know a lot of them. I've made friends with a lot of them. I just don't understand them. But I said, well, brother, you tell me that you have all this trouble and you're in so much pain and that you can't overcome it. But it's been 6 months and you say you've been going to church, reading the lives of the saints, but you haven't started reading the New Testament yet? And he's just like, I'm just not ready. I need to know more about the saints. And it's like, okay. Like I went from alcoholic, anxious, loser to saved in a few weeks. Hey, Forge Lloyd. We looked at, well, you know what we were doing. We looked at the card game. I just told my Mormon story. We're talking about religious people. Yeah, man, Forge Lloyd, it is necessary to get pure. How so? So your body is God's temple, right? There are two components of God, right? God is a man. There is the body and the mind, okay? Whenever the body is filthy, dirty, just self-indulgent, then it has pain and it has pleasure, and it could hardly distinguish between the two. And it chooses pain because it loves pleasure so much. But if you can get over your desire for pleasure, then you will also overcome pain. And part of that is not eating. So we eat so much, we don't need to eat 3 times a day. We're not supposed to. So what happens when you fast? I mean, I forget the details, so I'm gonna speak broadly. But it's like after 24 hours of fasting, and just water, your intestines start to produce new stem cells. Okay, so here's the thing. Your body, being God's temple, is perfect, and it will heal itself. Think of the word healthy. It's not healthy, it's healthy. It's about healing the body. It's not just about, that's good. It's a good thing for me. No, it's like your body's messed up and it needs to get better. It needs to heal. So after 24 hours of fasting, your lower intestine starts to produce stem cells. Now dig this. If you just start eating well, it's not going to matter a lot. Because you got a lot of, I don't know what to call it. Your body's full of old dead cells. Your body's full of old dead cells. When you fast for long enough, I don't know if it's 2 days or what. Y'all should look this up because this is amazing. It might be, I think it's 2 days. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Just know this much. I fasted and then I was saved. But it's what's it called whenever your body eats itself? Your body will eat the dead cells. Now here's the thing. until your body consumes those dead cells and purifies itself, then the new nutrition that you put into it, it really ain't going to do anything. So you got to cleanse out the old dead stuff. And then you have the new stem cells. The new stem cells now, when you start feeding it good food, they can do its work. It can do its work. If it doesn't, let's say that you just go from eating cake and cookies and ice cream every day to eating Brussels sprouts and, I don't know, whatever else is healthy. I like Brussels sprouts. Well, where are the stem cells? What are they going to do? You actually don't have what you need to heal without fasting. Fasting produces stem cells. Now, here's the thing. Whenever you cleanse your gut, then you need to start eating probiotics, plain yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, that kind of thing. You create a healthy gut biome. Serotonin, which regulates your mood, it's synthesized in your gut. I used to be prescribed serotonin pills, antidepressants. You go to the the doctor, and the doctor prescribes you serotonin pills. What he ought to say is, you need to quit eating for a little bit so that your body could start producing serotonin and stem cells. Pardon me for being inarticulate. But yeah, fasting's important. You'll learn about that. There's a lady, the person who I learned about it mostly from is Dr. Oh my gosh, I forgot her first name. Pelz. P-E-L-L-Z. You're right. You're welcome, Forge Lloyd. Brain fog. I've been going for 2 hours. Oh, I made a video about this already. I'll re-upload that video. Watch it. Because if you can stop eating, then you could stop doing everything else. If you have a compulsion to drink liquor, to smoke cigarettes, to jack off, Forge Lloyd, all of my old videos are in my Telegram group. That's the only place you could find them right now. I have them all on an external hard drive. I just haven't uploaded them. But it was hard to stop eating. But you know what? I kept trying. Just kept trying. It's just like anything else. It's just like with sin. You try to stop. You try to turn away, and it's hard, and you fail. But look, if you get discouraged, and you just stop trying, well, then what? But if you persist, you will accomplish it. It took me 3 weeks, I think, 2 or 3 weeks to accomplish my 4-day fast. I would get like a day and a half with no food, and then I would I have to eat. But here's the thing. So before I even fasted, because I had done so well, even though I failed, I did well and going 24 hours without eating, doing that 3 times a week. I at the time, I was thinking of it as a failure, but what was really happening was I was so focused on that goal, I didn't have anxiety anymore. I mean, really, I was cured before my fast. I was cured before I stopped. I was addicted to porn. I was jacking off multiple times a day, drinking liquor all day long. Before I even accomplished my goal, I had been cured because I was single-mindedly focused on, on the scripture. I was reading the New Testament. I wasn't asking anybody about it. I was focused on reading it, meditating on it, understanding it, and I focused on the scripture when I got hungry. I don't know that I could have done it if I didn't have the New Testament with me, because I just remembered Jesus is the word and Jesus is the bread. So, and it's just all symbols. It's all symbols. And so when I was hungry, I was like, okay, I need to eat the bread. And so I would be having these terrible hunger pangs, and I would sit down and just start reading the Bible, and I would be so enveloped in this book, I would forget that I'm hungry. I wouldn't feel it anymore. And by the time I had accomplished my fast, I was cured. That's why, look, I was in Conversation Nation earlier, talking to a bunch of Orthodox guys, and they kept denying my resurrection. I said that I was dead in sin, and I was resurrected by Jesus Christ into his body, and I am here, I'm come to you now as an epistle of Jesus, written on my heart by the Spirit of God, who uplifted me, and he saved me. And they laughed at me, and they called me a faggot and a tranny because I told them my testimony. They didn't care about my testimony, that I had overcome it through the power of God. They denied that I could have possibly been resurrected. You're a proud man. You're just proud, Julian. Look how proud you are to think you could possibly have the Spirit of God. It's like, look, huh? What are you, a Mormon? Yeah, ouch, right? It's weird. But look, here's the thing. Orthodox guys, most people, I mean, look, I'm not singling out Orthodox. I tend to single them out just because I interact with them the most. But they're really the same as Protestants. They're exactly the same as Protestants. In that they think that rhetoric has the power to communicate the Spirit to somebody. I have the same interactions with Protestants as I have with Orthodox guys. Everybody calls me a heretic because how dare you claim to have knowledge of God? It's like, dude, all I've said is that I was miserable, I wanted to die, and then he picked me up and said, Julian, you are my son in whom I am well pleased. I just followed him, and I struggled because I would backslide, and I would feel guilty. But by the time I was done fasting, and I had made my body pure, all right, and I no longer had addictions to the world. Jay Tatanka, hey, how far do you happen to be from New Iberia? I was out that way for work. Not sure if I told you. The work didn't work out, never got hired. Sorry to hear that, brother. I don't know. So that probably means I'm pretty far away. Interesting thing about New Iberia, though. Iberia means Hebrew. Like the Iberian Peninsula, it's the Hebrew Peninsula. Have y'all heard me talk about how the New World is the Old World? What you mean, my man? You making fun of me because I don't know where I live? Telegram, you have to give it a phone number. Download the app, give it a phone number, make an account. I have a group there with like 135 members. It used to be pretty active until I deleted my channel. And there are still people there, but I've only been back for a few days. But the media that you're looking for is there. So it is go to this URL, t.me/Stone the Builders Rejected. XDP King. Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust nothing. I know that if I give people my phone number, they can find out everything about me. But Telegram has phone numbers associated with it. Not mine. I don't use my phone number for Telegram. I don't even know what you're talking about, Jay. You said, you said New Iberia. That's a place. That's a place. Well, like the bank? They wouldn't hire you at the New Iberia Bank? No, there's not a way. I mean, to remove it, yeah, there has to be a number associated with it, though. Make a Google voice number. I don't think your number is, like, visible to users. I have, like, all but 6 of my videos on there. The longest ones I wasn't able to upload. Okay. Yeah, I don't know nothing about New Iberia. I'm in the New Orleans metropolitan area. I'm like, my mouth is dry. I'll go in a little bit, y'all. I'm having so much fun talking to you, though. I've missed y'all while I was gone, and it's such a pleasure for, like, most of the same people to be with me, that y'all found me again. Hopefully y'all don't work for YouTube and you're not just here to shadow ban me and report me. Let's see. DL, new world is old and old world is new. Yeah. Old World Florida turned me on to this, and it makes a lot of sense to me. The idea is that the Fertile Crescent is the Gulf of Mexico. I found this out recently. The name Mexico literally means the navel of the moon. Cool, Rafi. I'm glad you're coming back to it. We'll talk soon. Navel of the moon. What is the moon, though? So the moon is a symbol. What is it? It mirrors the sun. It's not the sun, but it reflects the sun. So the people who say that they are Jews, I think they're Mexicans. I think they're originally from Mexico and South America. The Amorites. So actually, I'm convinced that America is named after the Amorites, that it is in possession of the Amorites. The masters of witchcraft. I read an article about them from the Jewish Encyclopedia. It's good stuff. John Levi, or Levy. Never heard of him, Rafi. Love you back, Forge Lloyd. Yeah. Book of Levi, more like Book of Leviathan. All right, I'm going to have to get on with y'all another time. I got to eat. And drink some milk. We got a lot to talk about, though. It's been good catching up with y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Love you, brothers and sisters. Bye.